So what type of links do you recommend I go with? High authority but few, or cheaper but plentiful? Before even looking at your site, if you watch our live streams or anything at all, the answer to that question is both. Um, I feel like the majority of your budget will be focused on like mid to high authority. Um, but you should also do some of the low authority stuff, right? We like to use the low authority stuff for basically anchor pillowing, getting in
Sure.
lots of natural anchors, branded anchors, URL anchors, generic anchors. You should also do some of that stuff on your mid to high authority links, but would you say the majority of the budget's like mid to high authority that we usually do?
Yeah. I mean, it really depends on where the starting point with the site is and what
That's
we
true.
think it needs, right? But overall, try and picture it naturally. So, typically, what happens is when a site gets pressed for some specific reason, it's usually coming from like a bigger authority, or the press comes from like a bigger website, and then there's this trickle down effect of everybody else catching on, writing articles. So personally, I like to emulate that. So I'm using a mix of links, and that's going to create a more natural type of environment that's harder to recreate unless you kind of know what you're doing. So yeah, mix and match, but you can't go wrong with doing high mid authority, and then every once in a while just getting a bunch of small press in there in the form of like barrage or like weaker links or pillow links, stuff like that.
Yeah. So like, generally, if you really don't need to like work on diversity, link diversity or anchor diversity, then in general, I feel like the majority of your budget will be mid to high authority and then some kind of low authority stuff in every now and then. Um, and then he says, also, if I'm trying to push a certain keyword, can I also buy links anchored, exact match anchors? And the answer to that is yes. Um, the more in-depth answer is, exact match anchors are very powerful, and you want to have some exact match anchors. The problem is that a lot of people go overboard with this, and they do it in a very unnatural way to where the majority of their anchor text going to that page end up being, exact match or partial match anchors. You need to do, just with like links. So, with your links, you're getting a bunch of different kinds of links. You're building a diverse link profile that appears natural. You need to do the same exact thing with your anchor text. And, if you go and you look up natural sites, exact match anchors for the overwhelming majority of the time do not make up the majority of their anchor text profile. So you just, you want it to be a pretty small amount that you're using exact match anchors with. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, not really.
All right, so now
That's good.
let's go ahead and look at a site. And let me get in.
Or I guess just like from an experience perspective, I mean, I'm typically doing really heavy pillowing with my anchors in the form of branded naked, those kinds of things to the homepage typically before I start off on getting a little more aggressive with exact match or variations of those exact matches. Um, and then it's more of a sprinkle in one or two links with exact matches and seeing how that registers in the SERPs.
It doesn't have anything important in it, right?
Yeah, you didn't get any of the competitors, right? Nice.
All right. For everyone watching along, just so you can kind of know what's going on, this is a local site, a local service-based company. Yeah, you can see they've only got about 42 referring domains right now, so really not many domains. And I would say the DR, the domain rating, kind of reflects that, right? DR is pretty low as there aren't that many domains. And he's starting to get some keywords. He's got some keywords. He's got some traffic. You can see the keywords and traffic graphs right here. Looks like it's kind of stagnated over time. Had a little pop right here, whatever. But over time, it's going up and down, but it's averaging out pretty much about the same thing.
Also, we said this is local, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
local. and it's in Ireland.
Yeah.
So now and so I think his main question was he wanted to know why his main keyword wasn't really moving. So let me show you what that is. Here. This is the main keyword right here.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Very broad.
Yeah, it's a very
It's not like a local term, like, let's say hypothetical, it was plumbing in a certain area or something like that. It's not. It's more in line with like just going after plumber or plumbing.
I'm not seeing it on Ahrefs at all.
Yeah, and overall, for this
Discovery.
keyword, I would think, if you've got map pack capabilities, then you could optimize for this keyword and actually maybe get map pack listings. Mm, if you're going after organic rankings, my guess is this is going to be quite competitive, and you're going to have to be one of the top movers in the area to really get that keyword. So would have to keep building out the site in the form of content and quality links.
So the site is definitely ranking for some relevant keywords. It doesn't really have much on page one or anything, or at least Ahrefs says it doesn't have anything on page one except for branded stuff.
But it is moving to like page 2, 3 on here, which is a good sign. It doesn't have the most RD, which you can see from the image here.
Hey, if you're watching, what URL are you trying to rank that one keyword on? Go ahead and send me a message or just drop it in the comments wherever you're watching. I'm taking a look around the website right now. It's got this weird thing where when you go to a services, it asks you to select your county.
It's just different areas pages, right? Basically.
I guess so. I'm not really sure about this.
Okay, so it's like a package list that they do for each specific area, I guess. Like that's intuitive, right?
Okay, so I guess his main services page he's trying to rank for. So it'd be just this. So first of all, this page it doesn't look optimized for the keyword at all. I feel like it would make more sense to rank. What's this?
Maybe even like the homepage over this page, quite honestly.
Ugh, I'm not sure about this site structure.
And then look at those slugs.
Like you choose a
Check out the slugs.
Yeah, I know. And then you like try to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound overconfident about this, but this isn't something that I've traditionally really ever seen working. Typically on a local site, I'm going to have an areas served section and then a services section. And what's gone on here is it's more of like, it's working sort of like an app, I guess, where you would pick where you are and then which services you're looking for, but like the way that it changes the URL structure isn't optimized for anything. It's like post tag equals whatever on the back end. So it's definitely not going to do you any favors with crawlers.
So let's go ahead and look at. I'm just pulling up. I typed in Austin plumber. So it's a local service-based keyword, and I'm going to go ahead and look up this one, which looks like it's a bigger site. They probably have a ton of different locations, right? So you can see what they do is, here up at the top, they just have their domain, rotorooter.com/Austin. And then here you click emergency services. And then, so yeah, now it's taking you to like plumbing, emergency plumber. And they've got Austin, Texas up here. I wonder why it doesn't have Austin in the
Well, because this would be a service page, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then it's tied into areas served page. What's cool is that it's intuitive as to where you are. So they've got some kind of like tracking
Yeah.
capability on here, which is a
But yeah,
nice site.
normally what people do is they'll have like a services kind of thing like this, and then they'll have like a
We
locations.
go to the bottom, I bet there's a way to find the services pages, or I mean the areas served pages, I would think. Usually it's down here somewhere. Canadian site. Well, it's got to be somewhere.
I don't know what these guys are doing. Here we got locations.
Oh.
Well, why
Okay,
is
yes,
is
so
it
here we
only
go.
is it only Austin?
No, go back to that site. Or click here. Right? Can you not click that?
Where?
Locations? Yeah. Huh.
It's weird.
Maybe it's like, oh. Well, maybe they do only have an Austin location with the intention of growing out of it.
This one's like a little bit like not super. Let me try to find another
Maybe
one.
find like Daniel Austin, something small.
So these guys are just Austin. So I want to find one that has actually different like locations. Um, it's only Austin. Only Austin.
I think Fox is like a big one, right? Fox Plumbing and HVAC services. They should be in national. If you look them up.
Fox.
Yeah, there we go. I think this is them.
So yeah, you can see, they've got like their different like services all up here just off of like menus and stuff, or you could just have a services page with all of your services on it. Um,
Oh, well, this is optimized for Austin as well.
how are you doing that? I haven't done
Well, I mean,
local.
that's the homepage, so I'm guessing this is actually a local company, and I'm not it's not as big a company as I
It
thought.
doesn't say.
Hmm?
It doesn't say. I mean, in the
Oh, yeah, I was just looking here. See, installation in Austin, Texas, unless, well, yeah, there'd be no way to make the homepage just specifically for that.
But anyway, instead of like wasting more time trying to find a good example for you, what I will say is that if you look at any of these sites and then you look at your site, you'll notice that the way these things are structured are very, very different. Yours is kind of set up like an e-commerce type website. And it seems like you don't really have, like no matter what area you choose, it just changes your, I don't know, it's like these auto-generated kind of like URL slugs and stuff.
Yeah, they don't have any kind of indicator as to what the page is about, right? It's just, it looks like machine jargon.
Yeah, I just don't know. I've never really seen something like this ranking well. It's just not normally how people do local service-based sites. Um,
Not to say that it couldn't work, but I personally would steer away from this just given what I'm used to and what I've seen, historically.
yeah, if I was doing a local-based site, I would just stick more like, the general local sites do. Services drop down,
Mhm.
areas served drop down, different page for each area served page.
Yeah, simple.
Yeah, I feel like, this kind of complicates stuff.
And I feel like all this content is probably the same every time you switch to a different area, right? Like it's just the same content.
I believe so. Here,
Yeah.
let me try again. So,
Yeah. So it's the same exact
Yeah.
content on every page, with then an ability to click on the service through there. I'm not trying to rank local city-based services. The area selection is not done for SEO.
it says, I'm not trying to rank local city-based services. The area section is not done.
Just trying to rank the service. But yeah, but
that's, the keywords that you're ranking for are local keywords.
right, so it all builds.
Like if you go and you
picture.
type any of your keywords into Google, they are local searches. that means that your website needs to be optimized for local SEO. Uh, it's you don't want to try to like break the mold here and do something like completely different. The best thing to do is to look at what's working, look at the kind of the site structure that the other sites are using and emulate that. And I think what you're going to find is that no sites that are ranking for your keywords are structured like yours is. Um, Hopefully that makes sense. Just kind of waiting on a response here. But other than that, just looking at the site in Ahrefs, 42 referring domains, it's not a ton. And, it's starting to pull up some there's more different links.
He says, gotcha. So would I be trying to push my keywords as blank services in the area, etc.? So
So you need to go do your keyword research, right? So, sorry,
yeah,
go
no,
ahead.
I mean, like that's right. You need to go do your keyword research, and then, based on what we said, we would advise you're building the entire picture. You're trying to go after this broad term, which is the equivalent of going after like plumber, right? So if somebody's typing in plumber in whatever area, you'd like to show up. But to do that, you're going to have to build a big picture that's relevant to the areas served and the services that this website provides. And the easiest way to do that and easiest way to structure it would be to have an areas served section and a services section. That way you're doing niche relevance and doing geographic relevance, but it's all very tidy and it explains not so much just to a human, but to Google crawlers, this site is about this geographic area and this is what they do. And ultimately, that's what's going to help you be an authority in that section. Right now, you're not doing yourself any favors because, it's the same content across the board, no matter what area they're going to. I'm willing to bet that if you look at your competitors in the area, their site structure is probably going to be more similar to what we're talking about. And I would probably base, some of this off going and exploring that myself and kind of seeing what kind of site structure I think is being favored by Google. But chances are it's something along that route.
Yeah, when in doubt, and you can do this with anything. You can do it when you're looking at the type of backlinks that competitors have, the length of their content, how much they're using the keywords in the content. When you're not really sure what to do, look at what's working. Like Google gives you the answers to the test on page one, right? So you look at page one for whatever keyword, look at the top rankers and look what they're doing. And you can, you can apply that to anything in SEO, site structure, backlinks, keywords, whatever. Yeah. So as far as your site goes, so if this was your site, Nick, what would you do at this point? He's asking about link building and stuff, but
Yeah, I mean, he can always link build, right? But like, just go to the homepage until you figure out your site structure better. That way, at least you're beefing up the authority of your site while you're working on something else. Because Google will favor sites that seem to have work going on as well, or that are shifting, especially if they're shifting towards more positively, reinforced kind of on-page structure, or proper on-page structure. So you can link, but if your budget or time are an issue, then I would, and like I could only do one thing, I would start by creating an areas served and a services two sections, and then building out a more normally structured site.
Yeah.
And maybe get that to where it's 5 pages to 10 pages each. See how that resonates a little bit, but once you've got that, then you can tie the whole room together and link build confidently.
Yeah, I'll just say this, so with a website, you want to always be moving forward with link building. So like Nick said, maybe that means that for right now you're just building links to the homepage.
Yeah, and maybe not even that many, just like a couple just to keep relevance to the site,
Yeah,
right?
basically
Just because it's not structured right doesn't mean that people aren't using it.
Yeah, and so then while you're just slowly accumulating links to your homepage, the website's slowly starting to build up its link profile. If this was my site, I would be mainly focused right now on getting the URL structure cleaned up and getting it more like a normal site that you would see ranking. Area served pages with a bunch of different pages for each area you're serving. A services page with all your different services.
Yeah, how many pages are indexed in Google? We didn't look that up. I want to see how many, because I see here it's 76 results, so I'm guessing 76 areas, but they're all the same content. So it's 76 pages, all the same content.
278 URLs indexed.
Yeah, and so for a local site, I'm guessing that's, pretty hefty. And then let's take a look at them. Oh, you close it already? Category. Yeah, see, so like even the category pages for this is /category /number. Not explaining. It's very random. So it looks like even just the hierarchy needs to kind of help. Going off of
I feel like we
what
see
we
this a
talked
lot with
last
people
time.
that people maybe they're kind of newer to SEO and they start sites on like e-com platforms, and it just
Or use a
it's this
plugin that's kind of
mess.
weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they use some kind of builder or something, and it just makes everything
I
harder
mean,
for them.
how many of these index pages are brand category? No information about what the category is, but you'll see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
They're like these archive pages.
Yeah.
I don't even know what this is.
Yeah, my guess is a lot of this is just it's some kind of auto-generated plugin or something like that.
It's like the whole site was just auto-generated. None of this has been optimized, right? These title tags, none of the title tags have been optimized for anything.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's about.
I know it's probably not an answer that you like.
Nobody wants to hear.
No one wants to hear the answer of rip down your site and make a new one.
But if it is a plugin, it's pretty simple. You're ripping it down, you're creating 2 new categories, and then you're building off those 2 new categories, services and areas. You don't have to blow it out. Don't worry about getting all 76 of the old locations there. But get the handful that are most important, especially based on where you're currently ranking, is what I would advise. And then optimize for those, and then build off of that. But it's not that big a deal. It shouldn't be that much of a headache to fix this.
So the good thing is that your site's really not ranking for anything right now. You don't really have anything on page 1. So by doing this, by actually just ripping the band-aid off and redoing how your site is structured, you're not really going to be hurting much. People don't really go to page 2 or anything to find. He says he's actually in the works of restructuring the site, ditching the area selection, making category-specific services, and very good.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just stick on that path, be confident that you're doing the right thing, and once you're set up there, you can kind of regroup.
Yeah, one step at a time. And for right now, you could just, for example, build links to like your homepage and maybe whatever. So you're gonna end up having to like 301 redirect like old URLs to whatever the new URLs are.
I don't even know how important that's going to be with the way that it's structured.
His services page, if you just do /services or whatever, you could build links to that hub page as well. But yeah, main focus getting the site kind of where it needs to be as far as how it's structured and everything.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the description below for links to our blog for more info on this topic, along with a bunch of other cool stuff like case studies, our Facebook community, and our link building services. And like always, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you enjoyed the video. Thanks and happy ranking!